Hey everybody, it's Lo and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share some tips on how to deal with stress and overwhelm. So if you want to see that, then just keep watching. This video is super timely for me because these 5 tips are things that I do often try to incorporate, and when I do incorporate them, I honestly feel so much better because the stress of work and just all of the things that you have to do, the never-ending to-do list, and you just feel like it's building up and you're stressed and focused on work and not on yourself during the week, that the weekend comes along and you're like, okay, it's time to finally do all of the chores I need to do all these other things I need to check off of my list that you don't really listen to yourself. You kind of put yourself on the back burner, and I'm honestly just speaking from experience. And this really came to a head for me yesterday. It was Friday and I was just super busy with work, and then I had to go in to work and I knew I wanted to grab lunch on the way in because I'd be there for a few hours, and I'd only had a few hard-boiled eggs earlier in the day. And this also leads into my issue with just not getting enough protein or forgetting to feed myself. And as I was on my way out, I kind of planned enough time to be able to pick up food and not get to work where I'm too tight on time. And then I just started putting things in the dishwasher, dealing with trash, and just finding myself doing all these chores, these little tiny things that need to be done. And then realizing, oh my gosh, now I'm actually running late. I might not be able to get lunch. Almost just being too distracted to really take care of myself. And then that led to even more overwhelm and more stress, and plus not having food and just being hangry, and it makes your cortisol go up. And then last night when I finally got home, because I got home later than anticipated, I thought I'd be back by 6. I ended up coming home closer to 7 just because I had to do a bunch of stuff that I wanted to get done then, that way I don't have to worry about it this upcoming week. And I got home, I started doing yoga at 7:30 because I knew I wanted to do yoga. I needed to move and just stretch, and I knew it would make me feel so good. Austin had finished yoga right as I was about to start, and he was like, what are we doing for dinner? Where should we go? And I honestly just started tearing up because I was like, I can't even think about dinner. I just want to do yoga and focus on me for this next hour. And the idea of going to dinner, I told him, I was like, that's such a waste of my time. And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, so I'm gonna do yoga, I'm gonna have to rush through it or find a shorter one, and then I have to get ready, I have to put on clothes again, we have to go to dinner, and then by the time it's all done, it'd be 9. And so he ended up just making dinner. But all this overwhelm and just stress really came to a head, and I realized okay, I'm noticing that it's overwhelm, and if I keep letting it go down this path, it will become burnout, and I'll just become overstressed and just feel even worse. And being in burnout is just not great for your hormones. It does disrupt your sleep and just disrupts how you feel. And then all of that just kind of spirals and makes it even worse. So it's really good to notice and recognize this in yourself, and recognize when you are feeling super stressed and overwhelmed, and do these steps that can really help release that burden. That way it doesn't build up and become worse than it already is. Kind of a longer intro, but just kind of why I felt inclined to film this video today, because these 5 steps are all super simple and just things that you can always rely back to when you start to feel overwhelmed. These 5 things are in no particular order, and I think they're all super helpful and they really help each other out overall. So the first one that I have is to make a to-do list, and I literally put everything on my to-do list. I put shower on there because if I don't do it, then I'll find myself getting too into work, and I get into the zone where I'm doing something and it's done, but then I'm like, oh, then I can just do this, or I can just do this, I can just do this, and then I keep just doing these other little things that don't necessarily need to be done right away. And that goes back to putting myself last, and then I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten, I still need to take a shower, just all these little things. So I literally put everything on my to-do list. I will put eat, because then I can delete eat off of my to-do list and I will know okay, it's been done. And then I really just rearrange it throughout the day. So I don't write it on paper, I actually write it. I have this never-ending to-do list in my notes. On it, I have every single day, and it goes at least 3 months out. And every single day I have the same stuff. Duolingo. I love doing Duolingo every day. I'm doing it for years. I have an insane streak. Do I know a lot of French? No, but I do still learning, and it's just something fun to do in the morning, for 5 minutes, just wake my brain up and create that new neural pathways, and just keeping your brain young and active and learning something new is super good for it. I have make bed, and sometimes Austin will do it, but typically because my bathroom is the one part of our bedroom, and I'm in there like getting ready a little bit longer in the morning. So when I leave, I usually just make it, and I like how I make it better anyway. Wash up, like literally brush my teeth, wash my face. And I put all these things there also because I love the fact that I can like cross them off in the morning. Deal with plants, we have our Planta app. Meditate, and sometimes I'll like move that. If I'm doing yoga in the day, I'll put it close to yoga because I know I'll just do like yoga and meditate all in one. Make coffee, read, and then today I have like get ready. I already got ready for this. I have film, upload footage, clean up, as in like put away the tripod that my camera's on. Literally just like the most small things. And then some things do get like pushed if they're like not super important, then I keep them at the bottom, like do this creative thing that I have to do for work. Does it have to get done today? No, but if I have like 30 minutes, I can knock some of it out. That way it's like less stress for Monday. But I put that at the bottom, like literally just like make dinner, clean up dinner. And I know it sounds like insane and super type A, but it keeps me super organized. And since it's in the notes app and I don't have to like cross out on a piece of paper, I can just delete it, and I can easily like cut and paste things to a different day if I know I'm not going to get to it today, or if something's more important, I put it towards the top. If I have a call at 12 and another one at 1, I'll put eat between there, because I know like if I don't put that there, then I'll do work from 12:30 to 1, and then the call from at 1 will happen, and during that call I'll be starving. So I put literally everything in there, and it helps me just stay focused and stay on track. And at the end of the day, when I've like pretty much deleted everything, it makes me feel so good. So I know it can be a lot, especially if you feel like, oh my god, I have so many things to do, but writing it out and like seeing it visually, it being able to get rid of those as it's done, or like put things lower on the priority list, is so important, especially in the morning. Looking at what you have to do, whether it's for work or for personal, and saying like, what are like the 3 most important things, putting those at the top, and knowing if I can at least get those things done, you had a good productive day. Everything else that's not as important, like have it on the day for today, but you can move it for tomorrow. And just moving things around, I feel like keeping yourself organized in that way is super helpful in reducing that feeling of overwhelm, because you can see it and it's not just like in your head and you're like trying to think and remember. Like it's all there for you to remember and to like add as you go. And going off of that, I like to time block things. It's my second tip, and in my Google Calendar for work, because all of my meetings are already there for that, I add in like different things for myself. Like on Google Calendar, you can create focus time, so people will be able to see that because we can all see each other's Google Calendars. So if I have focus time on there and somebody else is like scheduling a meeting with me, they'll try to like avoid it for the most part. Like we're all pretty good about that since it is a super small team, but that's something that I really like doing, especially if it's something that I have to do for work where it's like that has to be done by tomorrow. And I'll put focus time for an hour, because I know this hour I'm actually going to work on it, not going to get distracted, going to get as much of it as I can done. If you keep like inviting me to calls and asking me about these other things, then the main thing that you need me to get done isn't going to get done. So by putting that focus time in there, it's good to like tell other people, leave me alone, I actually need to do this task. And it's good for myself to say from 2 to 3, like I am going to get this done, and I'm not going to push it to later. I'm not going to push it to tomorrow and like be stressed and overwhelmed about it. Like it's something that will get done. So adding in that focus time. I also add in, when I do go to the gym in the morning, I put busy, because I feel weird about saying like gym. Getting to the gym at least 2 times a week is super important for like my mental health. And even just like from taking a walk in the morning for 30 minutes, I'll put busy. So for the most part, people won't schedule things during that, so I can stay focused. I do have my phone on me in case something does like need to be responded to on Slack or on email, but for the most part, like that's my focus time, and I can get that workout in, and that makes me feel really good and helps reduce my stress as well. Having that and like people knowing like, just don't bother me, and if you do that, then I will be more productive for the rest of the day. So just having those blocked out times and knowing like from now to now I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, and like really working it in with your schedule and trying to schedule as much as you can to see it in like a more organized format and be like, okay, like I actually do have more time to do this, or okay, like this can be done tomorrow. And just like for me, again, going back to like the same as the to-do list, like it's just a very visual way to like get all this junk and stress and worries and like schedules and plans and all the things that you have to do out of your brain into a visual format to be like, okay, it's actually not that bad and I can do it. I can figure it out. everything will work out. The third way to help reduce stress and overwhelm is to delegate when possible. With me right now for work, this is pretty hard just because we're a super small startup team. So I'm kind of like doing a lot and there's nobody to delegate to, but we're finally starting to look at expanding and hiring more people and hiring help and somebody that can learn what I'm doing. So if I ever did want to take a day off and enjoy like a little vacation, I don't have to worry that like these things aren't getting done, that there is somebody who can handle that. So that's something that I am working with my work with and helping just expand that team so that way it doesn't all fall on me and I can focus on more of what I'm good at and like what I need to focus on, and then all of those like little mundane tasks can be given to somebody else that I just oversee. So that is something that is hopefully going to get better with work, but even just at home, like delegating tasks when possible. One thing that we actually have done over the last few months is hire a cleaner. She comes once a month. She's amazing. She will come on like a Monday for like 4 hours or so, and she cleans this place better than I ever would. She's just so great, and for me, like spending that money on her once a month is really an investment in my time and my energy, because before that, I was like scrubbing the toilets, scrubbing the shower that are taking up my weekend. Like I'm working all week and then it's the weekend, all these things that take time. And when I add up how much time I'm putting in towards just cleaning and like doing these tasks, it probably comes out to like longer than she comes and cleans, and she does it better than I ever do. So for me, like delegating that task has been such a relief to think like, yeah, I still do laundry like maybe every week and a half or so, but not having to be like, oh, I'm mopping and we're doing this and we're doing that. Like it's just been such a relief. So delegating wherever possible, whether it is at work, at home, anything that you can when possible, when available, I think is just a super great way to be like, this isn't a stress that I need to have. This isn't something that has to be on my plate. Give it up, release control, and just like let other people take those tasks because they might be better at it than you are. And you'll be less stressed. It's one less thing on your plate. My fourth tip, and this is something that I've been doing for so long, is to remove any notifications that you don't need. I still have Slack notifications, and like obviously if there's a missed phone call, which nobody ever really calls, so that doesn't matter too much. And then emails, Shopify orders for rain, and text messages. And that's pretty much all I have that's a notification that you're gonna see on my phone as a red dot. Oh, and then Planta. We have 9 plant tasks that need to be completed. So those are the only little red dots that I'm gonna have. In the color red, everything uses it for notifications because it's to catch your attention, it's to alert you. Your brain is immediately like, oh, that's something I need to pay attention to. And because of that, I personally just like don't love the color red. On my phone, when I see red, I'm like, nope, don't want that. So wherever possible, get rid of the notifications. Like I downloaded CapCut a week ago and I keep getting notifications. It's like, you might like this trend, and then it just like leaves a red notification, and I was like, you don't need it, like just don't. Like I need it because I want to like edit some quick reels, maybe a TikTok, but like I don't need to be notified of like other, like I just don't need it. On Instagram, I like never have notifications on, so like every time you get like a message or like just from likes, and a lot of people get like a notification on their Instagram app when they're looking at it, like I don't want that. So like all my social media, no notifications, and it's super easy to do. Literally take like not even 5 minutes. Go into your phone settings, go to notifications, and anything that's not urgent, get rid of it. You don't need it. And then sometimes I'm even just like, you know what, focus mode, especially if I am trying to complete a task. If it's like super important, you can like notify, because usually there's like the quiet notifications, and even on Slack it's like this person's like not getting notifications, but like do you want to notify them anyway? So if it's super important and timely, a notification will come through. But if it's not, and it's something I can get to in 25 minutes when my focus time is done, I'll get to it in 25 minutes when my focus time is done. Depending on focus mode, if you do have notifications that are set, and all those other notifications, all those dumb ones, you don't need it. Turn off the notifications and you'll realize like just the amount of times you're looking at your phone and you're being distracted and you're like, what else do I have to do? And like the red pops up and you're like, oh, that's something I need to do. It's drawing your attention. It's like saying like, it's urgent, look at me. Even if it's not urgent, it's just like, shop our summer sale. Also like, get rid of all those emails. Like you just don't need it. And it's all those things. And there's been studies where it's like every time you look at your phone, or like even just like look at an email to delete it, it takes like 20 minutes for your brain to get back, like fully back to the task that was at hand. So the less times your eyes are being drawn towards like these notifications that are pointless, the more you can actually stay focused on the task at hand. You can get them done and you will have less stress and just feel less overwhelmed because there's less for you to like have to open up to read whatever the notification was. And the very last tip is to just remove yourself from the situation. Step away, take a break. If you're at your desk and you're just like working, you're feeling overwhelmed, sometimes I just like stand on the roof or I stand outside the front door and just like get some fresh air, because I will be in this room for like literally all day, and like the night will come and I'll be like, I never actually saw the sun. Like I have a great window, but did I actually see the sun? Did the sun rays touch my body? Sometimes no. So just being mindful of like, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed. And you might think like, do I even have 5 to 10 minutes to just stand outside or take a walk or meditate or do whatever really helps you rest and relax and just like reset your brain? You might think like, nope, that doesn't fit my schedule, don't have the time for it, but make the time for it. If you think, oh, I don't have the time to like relax and just like turn my brain off for 5 minutes and like not think of anything, not look at anything, just like stand there or sit and meditate or take a little walk around the block. Like if you're thinking like absolutely can't do that, that's the time when you probably need it most. So just taking a few minutes and just like detaching yourself, zoning out, and it feels so nice. Like let me know, leave a comment if you start to feel overwhelmed as you're watching it this week or next week, whenever, and you're like, oh, you know what? I should take just a few minutes to stand outside and then just be like, and come back and tell me if you feel better, or tell me if you don't feel better, and then sure, maybe it doesn't work for everyone, but I highly, highly recommend it. So there you have it. Those are my tips on dealing with stress and overwhelm. That way it doesn't lead to burnout. Now that I'm done filming this, I'm gonna cross film off of my to-do list and get on with my beautiful Saturday. Maybe I'll stand outside a little bit. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below what your tips are and what else you want to see here on my channel. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe. I upload a new video every other Wednesday. So until the next one, thanks for watching.